right, so let's get to the conversation of the day. But news just coming in shows that a policeman and a member of a vigilante has been killed in Omoma local government area of Rivers State. So that is what we're getting from our correspondent in Rivers State. And this is where the fears we had about things escalating. So a policeman and a vigilante killed in Omoma local government area. As soon as we get details of how that's happened, we'll let you know. As we await to catch up with the two local government chairmen who tenure ended yesterday, let's have this conversation with the Labour Party governorship candidate in the Edo State, Mr. Olumide Akpata.
How are you?
I'm very well. Welcome to the program.
Eid Mubarak.
Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays.
Welcome. So, well, let's begin with some things that I know you spoke to on the social media, which I feel that is an opportunity as well to speak to the greater Nigerian population as well as the people of Edo State. What happened at the Oba's Palace? I read your statement where you're speaking to both people that are supporting you, people that are against you, saying, look, don't push the narrative beyond what it was. Maybe you give us a bit of a recap of what happened at the palace and what the interventions were and why you responded with that statement.
So I'm a Benin man, right? And I have nothing but the utmost respect and reverence for the throne of the Oba of Benin, our royal father. On that day, on Saturday, we went to visit with our royal father after we had done the flag off for our campaign, which was led by our national leader, former presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi. So we went to the palace to visit to pay homage to Omonoba Nedoku Akpolokpolo Ewari II. And in the course of my addressing him, I inadvertently referred to myself as a son of the palace, when what was intended was that I am a son of the soil. I'm an indigenous Benin man and all of that. And my royal father, in his usual candor, said, no, you're not a son of the palace. You are an indigenous son of Benin. And correction well taken, and I was very grateful for him setting the record straight. And it was totally harmless, totally very educating, and very enlightening for me to understand. You know, these things are important. Tradition, culture, and tradition. You know, you don't get it wrong. You get it wrong, and a misstep could be fatal. If you know what I mean. And so I was corrected. And end of story. It ought to have ended there. You know, it ought to have ended there, if not for politics and irresponsible politicians. And so his words were taken out of context, twisted by those who have another agenda of their own. And you had the headlines, screaming headlines. You are not a son of the palace. Omonoba shocks LP gubernatorial candidate. You are not a son of the palace. Akpata stunned by Omonoba's statement. These are the kind of headlines that were being churned out. Of course, on social media, all sorts of
you were actually trending.
Oh, so it was trending. All sorts of perspectives and all sorts of you know, they attempted to manipulate to twist what my Oba has said. And so I was forced to issue a statement, the one you have just referred to, where before I say that, so some others who are my friends and well-wishers, of course, took umbrage at the comments of these other persons, and it now became as we say, basbos, and a basbos situation. And then I was getting really worried because tempers were, tempers flared in more than one occasion, on more than one occasion, hot exchanges, and so I had to make that statement to set the record straight. It was a glorious moment for me, firstly, because my royal father confirmed to the world that I am a true Bini son. That you may not understand why that is an issue, because for me, in the course of my political career, very short political career, one issue that has dogged my entry into politics is the question as to whether I am actually a Bini man or not. I'm one of those Bini people who answer Yoruba names. So in Benin City, my Benin-ness has been called to question now and again. So it was, I thought, it was a fantastic day for me because none other than the monarch himself confirmed to the world that Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata is an illustrious indigenous true Benin man. So the other aspect of whether I inadvertently referred to myself as a son of the palace, because what my Oba was saying to us was that the sons of the palace, the daughters of the palace, are the princes and princesses. Definitely, I have never held myself out as one. So it was that was just storm in a teacup.
All right. So there are so many things I intend to unpack within the short time we have in this conversation. One of which is the atmosphere within the polity. So let's start within your party. We've seen a bit of, maybe at the national level, we saw Peter Obi, the presidential candidate, come to lift your hands and all of that on Saturday, but we haven't seen the presence of the national chairman of the party. What is really going on?
Well, I had every assurance that our national chairman will be in Benin on Saturday, and what reaching me now is to the effect that he was unable to make it as a result of certain circumstances beyond his control. Because members of his National Working Committee, all of them, bar one or two, were there. And they informed me that they had all planned to come in as a team. So it was quite, it was disappointing, and I was really sad that he couldn't make it. But I have received assurances that for the next events he will be there. But having said that, I will not play the ostrich and pretend to you that there are no issues within the Labour Party. There are issues in the Labour Party. There are issues in other parties. Every human organization has its own moments. And we are in one such moment at the Labour Party where all sorts of issues, the NLC have come forward to say that the tenure of the current chairman has expired. In Edo State, the national chairman has announced that he has disbanded the state working committee. One particular young man in the state attacked the secretariat, Gestapo style, and established himself as state chairman, all sorts of things. But it's as they would say, it's par for course. It's normal. It's a normal occurrence particularly in election season. Political parties have their own issues. I, however, believe that the Labour Party, our internal mechanisms are robust enough to deal with whatever issues we have.
But the other issue within your party is the fact that some members of the Obidient are declaring, which is the core strength of the Labour Party, we must say, are declaring support for the governorship candidates of other parties, including the PDP and the APC. Does that bother you in terms of how things will play out eventually for this election that is coming up in September?
Well, it's a democracy. You understand? So Labour Party, Peter Obi, we've never held ourselves out as authoritarian or autocratic. There is freedom of association, freedom of expression. If there are some, and I'm yet to actually see them, right? Maybe I would need to know where they are, who they are. I'm yet to see them. I hear all these things, If it not be Panadol, it not feel be like Panadol. You understand what I mean? We hear that some parties now say we are PDP obedient, APC obedient. Success has many fathers. Failure is an orphan. So it's very convenient now for other parties to claim that they are now wings or factions of the Obidient movement. Like I said, everybody has a right to express themselves. On the 21st of September, when we go to the polls, we will see whether or not all of this is of any moment. I think it's just, normal. In where I come from, we call it IGGs, initial gragra. It's nothing really to worry about. Yet there are a few people who want to side with other political parties, and they're free to do that. What you don't hear is that there are many people from those parties who are moving to the Labour Party. So it's the nature of the game, nature of the beast.
Now, the other big elephant in the room is that we've been following the policy in Edo State, and one of the concerns people have in your candidacy, initially they said, oh, Mr. Akpata is a mole in the Labour Party. He's sent by the PDP or the governor to come and split votes. That was initially.
Now they're giving up on that one.
Another argument is the fact that if you follow the principle of equity, some are saying it is not morally right for you to even run for governor, given that Governor Obaseki, who is from Edo South, is just going to hand over to whoever wins the election in September. So naturally, they should gravitate to Edo Central, which is why perhaps the other two political parties were headed to Edo Central. What would you be telling and trying to convince Edo Central people to vote for you, given the fact that they feel that you're cheating by not allowing them to have their quote-unquote turn in this whole race?
So this argument has been amplified by politicians who what they do, this is what they do best, try to drive a wedge between otherwise united people, right? The Beninese and the Asians are one, right? We normally coexist peacefully together, right? What I've told them, and mark you, I have Ishan or Asan people who are members of the Labour Party, right? And if you will recall that at our primaries, I garnered 316 out of the available 340 plus votes, 316. Plenty Asan people voted for me at the primaries. And that will be replicated or repeated at the polls, because my message is that development and good governance really knows no tribe. So when you say morally wrong, I say in whose book is it morally wrong? Zoning is okay. Zoning according to political parties. You don't transplant the zoning arrangement in one party to another. So at the Labour Party, we opened up the contest for the best man. We put our best foot forward. I emerged. And that is what we're selling to the entire people of Edo State. Good governance is not about tribe. When the Labour Party, by the grace of God, we emerge as victorious at the polls, we can institutionalize zoning. You know, having started from the Edo South zone, you can't take the PDP arrangement or the APC arrangement and try to impose it on the Labour Party. Everyone is in this game to win. You know, and that argument we put forward to the people of Edo Central. Within the Labour Party, they've accepted it. I am heading out there next week to talk to the people, and I'm quite sure that they will be convinced by our argument. Okay,
just a last question for you on this one. Now, when Governor Obaseki took over, the debt profile of the state, by domestic debt 45 billion, I think foreign debt about 183. Now he's leaving with 123 billion in terms of domestic and about 314 in terms of foreign debts. Though the IGR has grown about 200%. How are you going to fix this in maybe 30 seconds?
Well, for me, first and foremost, it's worrying that our debt profile, if you aggregate both numbers, we're heading towards 600 billion. Those are the numbers I have. It's worrying, not because I have a problem with debt, but because of the fact that I really can't see on ground what the debt was used for or the money was used for. How are you going to handle that? You need to, well, increase your earnings. You know what I mean? Spend a little bit more on debt servicing. It's unfortunate. It's going to be our albatross. We're going to have to bear it. But any responsible government will pay its debts. And I'm sure that with some deep thinking and some inventive approaches to financing, we should be able to pay our debt. But the most important thing is that our party, we are for Papa, Mama, Pikin. What is most important is whether you borrow or whether you, by federal allocation, your income or the debt you borrow should be used for the people. And that is what we are telling Edo people. All right. Labour Party will use their money for them.
Olumide Akpata, Labour Party governorship candidate in Edo State. We wish you the very best ahead of the election. Thank you so much.
And I'm hoping, like everybody else, that things will cool down in Rivers State. We are worried. We're all very worried.
Absolutely.
And may the souls of the departed rest in peace.
Thank you for your concern.
Thank you.